get the documents. Like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like the state of New York, one of the district attorneys was hiding, they were hiding documents, they had forced them to get documents. I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial? Oh yeah. Wild.
As you all know, Diddy's court case went better for him than most of us thought it would. But that's happening for a good reason. And Joe Rogan says that reason is why Diddy could go free after just 12 months. And let me tell you, the reason is pretty gross. Now, if you've been watching this story closely, you've seen those big headlines. Diddy found not guilty of federal charges. Really loud news, but that word not guilty doesn't tell us everything. There's more to it, sure. He was found not guilty on the big scary charges about gangs and moving people around. But he still got in trouble for the other things under something called the Mann Act. That's about moving people to different states to do bad things, if you know what I mean. He was found guilty of 2 of these things. The law says he could go to jail for 10 years for each one. That's 20 years total. That's federal prison. But since the really big charges didn't stick, people think he's going to walk away like nothing happened. The thing is, just because he won in court doesn't mean people forgot what happened. People remember what went down when Cassie first said he hurt her. Diddy came out really fast with a post saying he was totally innocent. He called it someone trying to get his money, and surprisingly, some people actually believed him. Famous people like Floyd, Mayweather, and Slim Thug even said they supported him in public.
I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy, because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it is or it's not a mistake. Things happen in life.
Until you prove it guilty in court, we can't, you know what I'm saying? So everybody, we just all throwing our opinions out there, man.
And that whole I'm innocent story was working for a while. Then a video came out from a hotel where people could see him being rough with Cassie. Once that video showed up, everything changed. People stopped believing the story Diddy had been telling. And when he finally said, okay, I did some bad things, it wasn't because he wanted to. It was because he had no choice.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. Take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now, put that on top of the fact that this isn't happening by itself. It's 2025, and people are tired of seeing rich and powerful people get away with stuff, while regular people have to face the music. So for a lot of people watching, it's not hard to believe that someone as famous as Diddy could avoid real punishment. When you have tons of money, really good lawyers, and people around you who stay quiet, justice starts feeling more like something you can choose instead of something that has to happen. Joe Rogan and other people who know about federal court stuff pointed to something deeper. The decision might have saved Diddy from going to prison for life, but it might have also trapped him in a different kind of long-term nightmare. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Even though he beat the most serious charges, Diddy isn't free. He's been locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center MDC in Brooklyn since September, and he's still there. July 4th came around, and while the whole country celebrated freedom, Diddy was eating cold sandwiches and fruit punch from a bag lunch in a place some people say is falling apart. One person who works in the prison even said the prison system is so broke they don't have money for toilet paper. Some prisoners have to tear up their bed sheets for basic stuff.
Well, as we talk about July 4th, not to say that Sean Diddy Combs won't have something to celebrate tomorrow, more than a lot of people, maybe even Diddy himself expected. The fact remains he will spend the 4th of July in the same place he's been every day since he was arrested last September, in the notoriously awful MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn.
Well, right now the BOP is out of money. Some of these facilities, they don't even have money for toilet paper. People are going to think I'm lying about this. Some federal facilities are actually tearing up beds.
Larry Livini used to be in federal prison, and now he helps people understand the prison system. He's got real experience with this stuff, and he explained it. He said MDC isn't a place made for people to stay a long time. It's basically jail, not prison. No time outside, no jobs, tiny spaces. So yeah, Diddy might have avoided a worse punishment, but he's still doing time in one of the most miserable holding places in the country.
Okay, MDC, it's essentially like a jail, federal jail.
Yeah.
Where you're inside all the time. You have housing units. There's a common area. There's cells around the wall. People are coming and going. People are getting charged. People are getting released. You're living in close quarters. You go to a real prison, you're going to be going outside. You may have a job. You're going to be doing things. This place here, it's really a lousy environment. But there's a big question as to where he's going to go. Some people think he's going to go to a minimum security facility, and other people say he's not eligible, and I agree because it's a crime.
The next important date is October, when the judge will decide how long he has to stay in prison. Unless they move it to an earlier date, and even then, the judge can add years to his sentence based on something called relevant conduct. This is important, even if a jury found him not guilty on certain charges. A judge can still think about that behavior when deciding his punishment. If the judge believes Diddy did the things he was accused of, even without being found guilty, the judge can use that to make his sentence longer.
I know we don't have a lot of time. Here's something nobody's pointed out. That judge can hit him what's called relevant conduct, where they could actually sentence and enhance him for things that he either was acquitted of, found not guilty of, based on the conduct of what he did. So he may get more time.
And let's not pretend this is just a maybe. According to court papers, federal prosecutors already said his actions were a crime. That alone can change what type of prison Diddy ends up in, and take away any chance of going to a nice, easy minimum security place. That's what Larry meant when he said, some people think Diddy will go to an easy prison, but he disagrees. Sex crimes carry a specific bad reputation even behind bars. Minimum security prison is probably not going to happen, and that opens the door to a very different kind of experience.
There's a big question as to where he's going to go. Some people think he's going to go to a minimum security facility, and other people say he's not eligible, and I agree because it's a crime.
Prosecutors, they said in their filing yesterday that it's a crime of, we'll see how it goes down when it goes to sentencing.
Even though Diddy's already been behind bars for over 9 months, this isn't the kind of change that goes unnoticed. He's already lost his freedom, his privacy, and, to some extent, his reputation when he walks into a federal prison as someone who was found guilty. No matter how technical the label, he doesn't walk in like a king. Now, sure, Larry mentioned something else. Being a celebrity does matter in prison. A guy like Diddy walks in, and people will come to him. Some because they're curious, others because they see an opportunity. Everybody started Bad Boy Records on the inside. Larry joked, people will pretend they knew him, that they had connections to his record label. Some prisoners will act friendly, hoping he'll put money in their prison accounts or help them after they get out.
You know what? He was acquitted on some charges.
Yeah.
People win. On multiple counts, people sometimes get things dismissed all the time. Fact is, he's no better than anyone else. He's a convicted felon. But what he's going to face is all these people are going to be up to him because of who he is and thinking that he could do something to further their career. You don't know how many people I met on the inside that all said they started Bad Boy Records, Death Row Records. Everybody started Death Row Records.
But there's a hard limit on that respect. They'll put up with a celebrity, but they won't respect the crimes. That leaves Diddy in a weird position, a king without a crown. Not hated, not loved, just watched. Every move was looked at closely.
King, he'll be treated like a celebrity, but I don't know if people are going to give him high fives for having crimes. I don't see that. It's not a popular crime.
And protection, that's another thing to think about. Larry said he doesn't think Diddy will need much protection. Prisoners will likely leave him alone. And according to Larry, Diddy's expected to hang out with African-American gang members who might accept him enough to keep things peaceful. Even the prison workers, knowing who he is, might treat him differently.
Do you think that he needs security, and what would be the level of security for him?
No.
Any kind of protection?
I believe he'll be just fine when he's in there. He'll have all the African-American gang members hanging out with him, and maybe he'll put money on their books. He's not going to have any problem at all. Nothing. He'll get along just fine. Even the staff will treat him different.
So what does it all come down to? Diddy's walking into a very weird outcome. He's not facing life in prison. He's not facing decades, if everything goes as planned. Based on sentencing rules and the possibility of time already served, he could be out in 12 to 18 months, and from the outside, that looks like freedom, like a clean break. According to several legal experts, Diddy might be walking free after a few months. One legal expert said even though the Mann Act could mean a 10-year maximum sentence, Diddy is going to get time served or close to it. His sentencing guideline range may be as low as 15 to 21 months. But that isn't a real win. The layers show something darker. He's been publicly embarrassed, caught in a lie, and connected to a video so disturbing that even loyal supporters had to take back their words. He's been locked in one of the worst federal detention centers in the country for almost a year, and even when he gets out, the accusations won't disappear. Being found not guilty doesn't mean innocent. He'll have to live in a world where his brand is damaged, where every interview and every post will be connected to this. That's the main point of what Rogan and other realistic people are getting at. In the court of law, he got partial mercy. But in the court of public opinion, the sentence may have only just begun, one user said. He will go back to his bad behavior once he is out. He feels like he can't be touched even more now. Way to go, jury. Great job releasing a monster to hurt victims and make new ones, while another said, can't believe he escaped so many charges. He created a smokescreen, and then Puff didn't. Escaped them all. What do you think of this unexpected twist? Share your thoughts in the comments. We're all ears, and if bold opinions and untold stories are your thing, make sure to stay locked in for the next one. It's coming up fast.